Okay, once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the DroneTech Innovation Challenge. This is our second last pitch today, or our second last event before we reach the final event. So far, we had 2 events where we showcasing and advancing drone technology in the maritime and also the oil and gas sector, and also any other sector that is relevant to what we are doing. My name is Patrick Lakabani, and I'm the executive responsible for development programs at the IDZ. I'm also forming part of the steering committee at the Innovation Campus, and I'm pretty much part of this process to advance drone technology. Let me first welcome you all for availing yourself for this event. Thank you so much. Also, our panelists, our judges, thank you all for availing yourself and introduce them. I will introduce them in a short while. And also, the most important people in this event, our participants, the 10 companies that is pitching today to win prizes, and we'll see who the winners are in the 2 categories. The IDZ, the Saldanha Bay IDZ is proud to be associated with this project. I mean, we started this innovation campus a while ago, and we moved and we actually advanced in bounds and leaps. Let me thank you all once again and welcome you. So as the introduction, this is the second last event, as I said earlier on. Innovation showcase. Let me just do this, otherwise the light is actually obscuring me. So the events that actually superseded this event were, we had an online event where we spoke about drone tech. So we had the drone tech talks. And then that event was followed up by an entrepreneurial bootcamp, of which we have recorded sessions available on YouTube for any one of you who want to access that particular event. And then this event is the DroneTech Innovation Challenge, which you are attending now. And then this will be followed up our last event on the 13th of October, which will be the Innovation Day, where we're going to display drone tech. Please follow the Saldanha Bay Industrial Development Zone on LinkedIn for more information with regards to the follow-up event or the final event that we're going to have. Our DroneTech Innovation Challenge is aimed at discovering all innovation applications of drone technology across industries, with the aim of finding solutions that align with the energy and the maritime sectors. Our main drive is to instill a culture of innovation and nurture technology-led innovations in the energy and the maritime sectors. There will be 4 winners from 2 categories in this competition today, in this challenge today. 4 winners will be selected from businesses in the scale-up phases, which we categorize as category 3, and 2 winners will be selected in the ideation phase, which is category 1. And also those winners will be rewarded with a prize or with prizes. Those prizes are a Tech Tribe Accelerated program that we will offer to the winner. The other prize is a brand marketing exposure via various platforms like the Saldanha Bay Innovation Campus platform, the Saldanha Bay Industrial Development Zone platform, REES platform, and the SA Innovation Summit social media platform, as well as various other networks and platforms. The other prize is also the opportunity to showcase your startup in our innovation-centered podcasts, which we will obviously have, which we'll host obviously going forward. And also facilitated introduction to the Saldanha Bay Innovation Campus in the Saldanha Bay IDZ community. So that will also get exposure to those 2 platforms and those communities, and a coaching from industry experts in the drone space. So that is briefly the prizes at hand to the winners of the two categories. And as I said, those two categories, there are 10 businesses that will showcase their innovation, 5 in the first category and 5 in the other category. Without any further ado, let me introduce to you our panel of judges. And our panel of judges that has also been selected, from various sectors of our life and also in South Africa. Thank you for availing yourself for this auspicious event. The first one is Mr. Bantu Majaja. He's the Director for Entrepreneurship, Ecosystem and Digital Innovation Executive at SA Innovation Summit. Mr. Majaja, welcome. Second judge is Mr. Louis Jub. He's the author of Precision Farming from Above and the owner of Ideation. Welcome to you too. The third judge is Mr. Oscar Philander, Associate Professor at the Department of Mechanical Engineering at CPUT, which is the Cape Town Peninsula University of Technology. There is, welcome, Prof. Philander. Good to have you. Our fourth judge is Mr. Kolile Makwala. He's the Regional Manager for Cape Region at Transstate State-Owned Company Limited. Mr. Kolile Sakaula, there you are. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here. And our fourth judge is Mr. Sylvester Albani. He's investor in principal at Tlaisani Capital, a private equity venture capital firm. Mr. Albani, if you can just have a picture of you, welcome to our drone challenge today, and thank you for availing yourself. So, gentlemen, those are the people that's going to do the adjudication, and they are the ones, obviously, that's going to identify all the winners of all the prizes that we are having available today. Without any further ado, and before I start with the pitching, let me just give you an introduction on how the pitching is going to happen. We will have companies will have 6 minutes to pitch, and after each company pitched, we will then allow the judges to interrogate them either via questions or comments on their respective pitch. After that, we will then go to the next company, and the same will happen. As soon as we've done or we finish all 5 companies that pitched, we will then have a break of 40 minutes and then come back again and then start with category 3, sorry, with session 2 that will have the same process. So during this session, we are having the following 5 companies that will pitch. I'm going to mention their names obviously in the order on which they're going to pitch. So as soon as I've done with that, I will immediately hand over to these companies to pitch. I just see from Nokwanda, they just pitched, they just said there in the comment box that Notam is not pitching anymore. So we're going to go to the next company, which is Wiper Wireless Power. They're going to pitch first. The second company will be RBI DroneTech. There will be then a second company that will pitch, followed by Luminous Marketing and Branding. And then we'll end up our first session with Taurus Energy Services. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let me then hand over immediately to Wiper Wireless Power. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Just wanted to make sure that everyone can hear me perfectly and see my screen.
You are audible, sir.
Thank you so much. Right. So Wiper Wireless Power was created with the idea of finding solutions to the first and last mile challenges that presents itself with the transportation of people, goods, and equipment using battery-powered devices. Our smart wireless charger makes charging and operating drone robotics and mobility vehicles that much easier to use. It is my hope to help companies and people with solving this first and last mile challenges using wireless charging with the drones, ROVs, AGVs, e-bikes and scooters. Good day, my name is Dr. Jaco de Priya. I'm the founder and CEO of Wiper Wireless Power. Imagine a world where drones can be used on demand, rapidly launched, and for emergencies and repeatable missions, while being operated by a drone pilot from anywhere around the world. A world where drones are rapidly deployed from fighting oil platform fires, buildings or wildfires. A world where drones can be used to secure building parameters, borders, and perimeters for mines and other facilities on repeatable missions. When it comes to solving the first and last mile problems, our customers' pain points with battery-powered devices are that they need constant human intervention and attention. These devices require manual charging of batteries, leading to battery abuse, incorrect charging, plug-in fatigue, battery anxiety, and not being touch-free, and especially in these times of COVID-19. And the worse, a flat battery leads to the inability to operate the device entirely. We address our customer concerns with wireless chargers that easily integrate with third-party devices. In addition to our Drone Nest platform, allowing for the autonomous operations and automatic charging and rapid deployment of drones that can be used for security, delivery, surveying, and other use cases. Our Drone Nest platform allows for the device integration to allow for customized and solution-based of our clients' individual requirements. Incorporating machine learning to determine the optimal battery life and the cryptocurrency for exchange of charging credits for public fleets of mobility devices, all enabled by a platform strategy. Whether it's a drone nest or underwater ROV nest platform, our IoT-enabled wireless charging platforms our IoT-enabled wireless charging platform can be used to operate and manage fleets of devices. The WirePort Phoenix is an extendable modular platform, allowing for the platform to be customized based on the user use case and customer requirements. Whether it includes a weather station at the coast or a wildfire detection in the bush, the WirePort Phoenix can easily be extended to our customer needs. Our unique value proposition addresses customer pain points. It adds additional gains and delivers products and services that meet our customers' expectation. We are using a multi-sided digital platform strategy enabled by digital and I4IR technologies that allow us to connect and share between our producers and the consumers. Our revenue is generated from multiple verticals, including that of the wireless charger, the drone nest, and the product as a service model using associated integrated services. Wiper uses the platform strategy, which is implemented in two phases. Initially, a single-sided strategy, allowing the partners to be integrated with the device with ours, and also launching the wireless charger as an aftermarket charger to integrate with existing devices and drones and robotics on a crowdsourcing platform. So the time is now to benefit directly from the drone market and wireless charging market with a TAM of 43 and 11 billion respectively. Since 2018, we've developed and produced a modular wireless charger for these devices, a drone nest, and the IoT hardware platform to bring the advanced wireless power to our customers. In a period, we have received an award, a grant, and several partners and resellers have signed up to ensure that we solve our customers' problems. As a company that's offering a drone nest and a wireless charging solutions, we have multiple competitors on these fronts. For wireless charging, we compete with Solis Power, Wybotics, Spark Connected, and then PowerSync around the world. And for the drone nest, we compete with Aerobotics, Percepto, Armada, SkyX, and then a few others. Making a vision a reality, each team member adds significant value to the domain, bringing on average over 20 years experience each to the company. Our team consists of engineers, designers, system architects, serial entrepreneurs as a board member, as well as a business advisor. By far, our biggest need is for market access to drone manufacturers, business development and mentorship to accelerate to the next level of commercialization, as well as to access of investment. With the investment, we plan to address 5 areas of growth, including manufacturing of the product, sales and marketing, research and development, team growth, and in providing working capital. Come share the future with me, where a world of drones, ROVs, and AGVs and mobility devices are used to solve the first and last mile problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. Colleagues, I'll immediately hand over to the judges for any questions. Judges, over to you.
Chair, this is Oscar Philander. If you don't mind, I have 2 questions. You
have the floor, Doc.
Thank you, sir. That was quite a nice presentation. My first question relates to the sensitivity of these drone batteries, specifically related to charging and discharging of these batteries, and how will your device or technology protect the longevity of these batteries? And then secondly, is this a locally developed technology, or is this an imported technology that you further developed?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. So on the first question about the battery itself, so we're using wireless charging technology, resonant induction charging to charge the batteries, and we fit the temperature sensors to the batteries itself. So that allows us to monitor the battery, the charge rate, the capacity, and through machine learning, we optimize the battery charging cycle so that you can get maximum charging cycles for the battery itself. So we do a protection. The batteries are not charged full and then left for a period of time. So there's a lot of things that happens to ensure that the battery doesn't swell off, overheat. So that's the first question. On the second question, it's been about 3 years of development, and we've developed this entirely from first principles. So it's not technology that is imported from anywhere and then advanced or advanced in South Africa. So all came from first principles and using the different technologies and started up from the beginning.
Thank you.
Super, thank you. And thank you, Prof. Oscar Philander, for those questions. Mr. Majaja, I don't know, I see that you put your camera on. I take it that you will have also questions or comments. The floor is over to you.
Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Patrick. Really appreciate the presentation there. It sounds like very interesting technology. So well done on the presentation, Yaku. I'm really, I might have missed here the problem because I'm really trying to understand the business model here. And if you can just help me, so what would you say is, you mentioned that your competitive advantage is solving the pain points of your clients. Could you just elaborate for me, what exactly is that problem? What are those pain points that you are solving? If you can please repeat, please.
So thank you for the question. The area that we're looking at is solving the first mile and the last mile problem. So when we're talking about first mile and last mile from a mobility perspective is in order to get people from their homes to the train station or the bus station, and then from the bus station again to work and back again. But when we're talking about other mobility devices like AGVs, we're talking about on the factory floor, and we're talking about the
sorry, Yaku,
warehouse
AGVs.
floor. Yeah.
Sorry, Yaku, could you just expand AGV? What's an AGV?
AGV is automated grounded vehicles. It is vehicles that's used in factories and distribution centers to move equipment around. Essentially, a modern AWS warehouse would have robotics moving all the items that's been bought around the warehouse, and then do the selection for the packaging and transportation. So it's for automated warehouses and factory floors, yes. So that would be the first mile, and then the last mile would be delivery using things like drones, and also the inspections, surveying, and security using drones. So what we do is we're solving the first and last mile problem with battery devices using wireless charging as well as the docking station for the drones.
Okay, thank you, Yaku. I'm going to take advantage. I know that the 5 minutes is, it's over, but I think Mr. Albani has a question. But because we have time in our hands that we can steal from Nathan that did not pitch, I'll add another minute or two. Mr. Albani, do you have a question?
I'll add, it's actually maybe in addition to Majajak's question, just on the traction of the business. There's Yaku, there's a specific item we have to score you on, which is about traction in your business. And I think I don't have anything to comment on traction on your business yet. And yeah, I think I have a better idea now who your customers are. It could be anyone, but you didn't give actual details about customers. So maybe you just want to give some more detail on that.
All right, so from a traction perspective, we originally started with a 20-volt charger, a 200-watt charger, as a proof of concept to see how it would work. So that was done, and then started doing the IoT platform, so that was done as well. So we've got, at this stage, most of the income coming in for the business is in terms of consulting work. As the product development cost is so expensive and it takes so long. But we've got some investments that we received in terms of from grant funding, as well as some bootstrapping between myself and my partner. And then we signed quite a number of memorandum of understandings. We signed partnership deals. We signed a deal with an integrator. We won award, and we were also part of Airbus and GIZ incubator in Germany and France about 2 years back, and we came semi-finals in the Dongxing Cup last year in China. And one of the first things that we are doing now is doing on a commercial proof of concept project.
Thank you, Yaku, and thank you to the judges for those questions. Yaku, I think you diligently responded to the questions the judges had to us asked you, and all the best for all your future projects and your ventures. Thank you so much to WIPO Wireless Power. Without any further ado, if you can allow the other company to share.
Yeah.
RBI Drone, are you ready? Super.
Right, apologies guys, just want to make sure the mic is working loud and clear.
Loud and clear, sir.
Perfect. Right guys, sorry, let me just get this up and running here again. Right, so good afternoon everyone. Firstly, my team and I would just like to thank you all for the great opportunity we have to present our idea to you all today. And then I'll get started. So we are RBI DroneTech. We're a specialized drone inspections and detections group. And with that, I'd just like to introduce my team to you all. So we have Art Verrips with 28 years of experience and the man behind the plan. Then we've got Elizabeth Boholohani, our shareholder. Myself, Armand van der Merwe, the director and head pilot of the team. Then we've got Chris van Niekerk, our senior projects integrity and QA systems specialist with 17 years of experience. And lastly, we've got Devan Ubar, our senior health and safety specialist with 18 years of experience. Then the problems that we've identified, the challenges. So long manual inspections followed by lots of health and safety risks in the field. And then also lastly, bridging that gap between humans and technology. So RBI DroneTech has signed a licensed agreement with VHive to partner us up together and to utilize their amazing software to improve and develop our service offering from our end. This will then allow us to provide each client with their very own unique requirements. So with that said, the more we find for the clients, the more the software develops and revolves around their own unique requirement. Now onto our solutions. RBI is capable of deploying any number of automated drones with a wide variety of inspections and survey capabilities. We can then drastically reduce the environments our teams have to work in with pinpoint analytics that then allow the teams to focus on other critical matters at the same time. RBI's business model will then revolve around our basic services, which will include unique interactive 3D models with the analytics, 2D and 3D CAD drawings for all the engineers' needs, and then also a 360-degree pre-site development photo set as an extra offering. Then we can also offer collaborative inspections and maintenance packages as well. Then these servers will then cater to buildings, cranes, towers, even the rigs of the ships as they come into the harbor, pressurizing equipment, and also storage tank facilities. Then, with the integration of our partner software VHive, we plan to revolutionize the flight and inspections process to a whole new automated level. Utilizing digital flight plans, we save both time and resources. The software then also allows us to create an interactive 3D model that the client can then pull apart, modify as they see fit to then do pre-development plans to optimize their own solutions. And something that we're very focused on is also that RBI wants to help the local community strive and develop, not only themselves, but also the industry as a whole. And we want to do that with the help of our sister company, RBI Technical Solutions International, and their own leading experts who've been in service for 28 years already. So with our own custom online training platform, we want to enrich those young, bright minds by passing that knowledge and innovation over to them so that they can then help involve the industry from their side. That's going to range from many options from health and safety to quality control and even the preparations to become drone pilots themselves. Art once mentioned to me when I joined the company, we don't just solve current issues, we strive to provide future solutions. And that just always stuck with me. And that's kind of the mindset we want to provide to all the new guys coming into the market as well. So the competitive advantages we feel we have is that we strive to drastically reduce the risks to staff by utilizing modern technologies such as our automated drones and software. This will then allow the teams to focus on crucial elements, increasing both output and productivity at the same time. And then lastly, providing that unique interactive experience for the clients to engage with their 3D models and then make informed development decisions for themselves. Why would you consider us? Well, when our drones inspect any structure, our software can provide a pinpointed 98% accurate result in only a day's time. Our skilled pilots can then also do pre-site development flights as well, so that our experts can assist with swift, proficient development of the IDZ. Then our current and new employees will always be exposed to very strong work ethics, allowing themselves to establish in a very diverse and long-term career environment. Then RBI's go-to marketing plan. We believe that always being on time and providing an excellent service is key to word-of-mouth marketing from our client side. And on a professional social platform level, we also have our LinkedIn profile, our company website that will then also provide all the knowledge of our abilities and the services that we offer as a whole. Okay, then to our finances and milestones. Our first year benchmark, we want to aim to reach a minimum of 15 flights a month per pilot to then break even on a month's end. This will then amount to a turnover of just under 175,000 and a gross profit of 74,000 on a month end. That will then also cover all of our fixed costs. So any flights that we do that exceed this will then be highly profitable for the company as a whole. So if we were to operate at max efficiency, we're looking at a turnover of 5.9 million per pilot per annum. And that's with 42 flights a month per pilot. If we had to go to a most conservative one, going half of that, we're looking at 3 million per pilot per annum, and we're still looking at making a profit. So with that in mind, as the IDC grows, so will the market for the inspection and the maintenance sector as well, allowing us to grow and expand our pilots at the same time. So with a great idea and a very passionate team that's brought us where we are here today, I believe that we are now ready to take that next step forward. And with that, I thank you so much for your guys' time.
Mr. Van der Merwe, thank you for that energy.
It's my utmost pleasure, guys.
I love the energy and I love the presentation. Time is not our best mate at this stage. So I'll hand over immediately to our judges. I believe they would have some questions to you. The first judge, please take the floor.
Hi, Chair. Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Oscar. Yes, Chair, I've got a couple of questions, if I may.
Yes, please go ahead, Louise.
Thanks very much for your presentation. I just have a couple of questions. First of all, regulations. How are you sitting in terms of the regulations, in terms of being able to provide the drone services?
Louise, we are currently in the process of applying for ROC. We're halfway there. We've already got the amendment in place. It's just the RLA. Once we have the amendment that we then have to submit together, and then we just have to wait for the CAA to approve our ROC from there on.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. And I know what a process it is.
Thank you very much. We're going to need it.
Yeah. The other thing is you've outlined the return on investment for yourself, but how do you see the return on investment for your clients, your customers?
That is the beauty of everything, where we want to help put that the services that we can grant with the inspections, helping to do those surveys. We help those clients by minimizing the cost that they have to have for those teams going in the field, doing it manually, exposing themselves to those risks, doing those inspections. They utilize both cost efficiency and the risk elements of it by utilizing the services that we can offer, then benefiting them in that regard. And we also in the field where we want to train and help them grow their own people with the online education platforms that we have. So that's the type of service we want to grant. So once they have those skill sets, those knowledge, we can then help the whole IDZ develop itself. The clients help develop their own community and their businesses to grow the IDZ as a whole. That's our focus point that we want to help with.
Okay, so you haven't really put any figures yet to the kind of, well, if we use these, this is how we will save on the bottom line. You haven't quite got that sort of mapped out.
Yeah, that's something we can always help the client. It depends on the requirements the client specifically has. So our software is capable of catering to unique needs. So once we've identified those requirements and needs, we can help pinpoint what the costs and the savings and everything will be for them.
Okay, thank you. Thanks very much. Good luck.
Louise, thank you so much. Oscar, before you go, any judge that has not asked a question, if you want to take the floor, please do so. Otherwise, Oscar, please, you may go ahead with the questions.
Thanks, Chair. Mr. Van der Merwe, you mentioned a link to RBI International. Can you just explain to us what the relationship is with your company, RBI DroneTech, and yeah, essentially what is the relationship between the international company and where are they based, and of course that relationship?
Okay, so RBI Technical Solutions International is based in South Africa. So we are all in South Africa, from Durban to Cape Town to all over the country. That is more of our inspections and our maintenance department. That's our partner company, the head branch. My division will be then the drone and the technical division with my team. So where we will then be expanding, trying to help with those type of services, bringing the drone technology in on those fields. We want to bridge that gap. That's where we now bring technology into the inspections and maintenance industry.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure, Oscar.
Chair, if I may, if we still have a minute, Armand, thanks so much for the question. For the presentation. Really looks like an exciting opportunity here in terms of what we can do here in the IDZ. What I would like to know that I missed is what's the broader opportunity? What's the long-term market really that you're looking at scaling this through? I understand that you're starting in the IDZ, correct me if I'm wrong, but broadly, where's your market sitting and how are you looking at growing to it, and how big is it?
Thanks for that question, Majaja. Right, so the beauty of this software and the services that we can offer, it allows us to not only focus on the IDZ, it's something that we can do over the entire province. We can even go further into Africa. This is something that we can utilize to help construction sites, can help guys that have to drive very far away in the fields to go do tower inspections or do maintenance on cranes. Guys that have to go up to high mountains to reach specific towers, you can do that with a drone instead. So it's a software and a technique that allows to eliminate a lot of health and safety risks. By bringing technology into that fold, those services, we can reduce the time it'll take to do these things. It'll help keep the people safe, and it'll give very accurate analytics to anything. So again, we can do the ships that come into the harbor. We can do pre-site developments for if we want to develop a new storage tank facility anywhere in the country. This is something that's very helpful for that. If we want to increase development of construction sites or townships, and we want to help improve those communities, we can use the software to map it out, get a good accurate 3D analytics of it, and see where we want to modify the layout of that community as well. And that we can use to help broaden them and support them in that aspect as well. I think the opportunity is limitless as far as we understand it's limitless. It depends on what our customer wants and how far we're willing to go for it. The more we fly, the more we can modify it for them.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Majaja. Thank you to the judges for asking those questions. Thank you also for a very comprehensive and also an informed pitch, Mr. van der Merwe.
It's a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for the opportunity as well.
Okay, cool. Let's do the following then. We'll just give the judges a minute to two just to do the scoring. And then I'm just going to give them a minute, in fact. Whilst we're doing that, I must also say that the purpose of the challenge is not only to look at the solutions. Obviously, what has been pitched is the most important thing, but it's also to disseminate information around drone technologies. Also for those that log on, that are participants in this group, to learn more about drone technology and also the innovation that goes along with that. We don't read that often, about these things in mainstream media. So we also hope that those that are participants in this event, that they'll learn more about myself. As host, there's so many things that I'm learning now today. So thank you for that. What I will then do now is to call on the third participant, which is Luminous Marketing and Branding, and allow them to pitch. Please share your screen and let me know when you are ready. Thank you. Luminous, are you guys on standby? Are you ready to reflect your pitch? or to share your pitch on the screen? I'm also just checking quickly on our participants. We are now standing at 46 participants, which to us is a good turn up. Remember that we all know that the impediments that the COVID and lockdown brought upon us, and this new way of life. I remember our first online. I remember our first online meetings. You know, you find so few, not many people actually participating, but now the numbers are growing because people are getting used to these virtual meetings. I guess Luminous is not ready yet, and in that event, can I ask whether Taurus Energy Services are ready? If I can just get an indication.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
please.
you.
Can you please take the floor? You can share your screen.
Okay. So just to check, everybody can hear me, see me, and my presentation?
Visible and audible, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me start in that regard. So, good day, everybody. Gareth Grosh here of Taurus Energy Services. We are environmental auditing. We're actually an environmental consultant and energy services. On the one hand, we do waste management and air quality management services, and on the other, we distribute LPG and retail. So we're trying to bring in a third aspect, and that's obviously technology through drone usage. Let me get on with it. So being in the industry for over 10 years, along with my partner, we realized that the environmental sector is plagued with regulations and extensive auditing and monitoring requirements. And so the problem that we want to address is to get all these requirements into a one-stop shop kind of place. Because number one is a disassociation between audits and land surveys and drone services and data interpreters, right? And of course, that would mean that the data acquisition is costly and time consuming. And to do environmental audits, there are places that are dangerous. And so drones will actually help with the risk involved with that. How we would do that is we would integrate, and I'm going to use an example for this. If you take a landfill site, for example, to do one audit, it's usually spread across various aspects, as I mentioned before, the audit itself, or the land surveying itself. With our technology that we propose, because this is still in the concept phase, we want to integrate those aspects as much as we can. So a landfill site will be, we'll fly the drone, take pictures. We can then calculate volumes of the cells. We can manage cells. They can manage cells better. We can work out how much landfill airspace is left. And of course, that will then reduce the costs and the times. And then the technology allows for the risk involved to be, obviously be less. We could also then, and I'll show you later on, fly air quality monitoring stations after using LiDAR detection to see the air quality at specific points on that landfill site. It's not just landfill sites, but just to use it as an example. Our target market, and yes, of course, there will be companies, many companies that have environmental reporting obligations. However, public entities, government themselves also have to. In fact, most of the landfill sites are owned in South Africa by government and are regulated by other higher, let's say, national and provincial government themselves. So that's another avenue that we will take. And then, excuse me. So yeah, we want to do a trial run with them, hopefully, and we can do many things. We can even calculate greenhouse gas emissions from the audits. I won't go through this too much, but the drone industry is an explosive growth industry, as you know, but very few of them are actually concentrating on the environment in South Africa, at least. Our direct competitors, one of them are actually in the pitch, is DeltaScan, fantastic product, but they focused more on structural engineering and not the environment so much. UAV industries concentrate on the drone flight. They are doing things for environmental managers, so that, but it's mainly concentrated on drone, getting the drone up in the air and then giving that data away to the other role players. And then the indirect competitors who are direct in a certain way. There's the various environmental practitioners who own the market at the moment. But yeah, they're not being very innovative with technology. So we will then, of course, be able to consistently produce reliable and accurate data. And because of the regular advancements in technology, we can meet those market demands and we can ensure compliance with regulations for our clients. How are we going to approach it? A lot of the technologies are very, they're not very straightforward, they're complex. We want to take that complexity and make it as straightforward as possible and just give a final product for our clients in the form of a report or an audit, right? And we want to listen to our clients, be engaging with them, which a lot of environmental auditors don't do because they feel that they've been in the industry for a long time, they know more. And then we also want to form strong business partnerships with other businesses. What we need our needs are at the moment, and I've actually had the opportunity to use the equipment before, but we need drones of about 200,000 Rand, maybe 2 drones, one to carry the air quality monitoring station that is shown in the middle, and one to obviously do the mapping and whatnot. And then we need to, instead of developing software, which we could look at a later stage, we could buy off-the-shelf software that is available. So thank you. That's our team.
There you go.
Managing director. And yeah, that's Funkies for Grosh. You know who the real boss is here.
Okay, Gerrit. Thank you so much. Gerrit, sorry that we have to interrupt you there a bit. So
okay, no problem.
Happens is that, so if there's left, then you hear the bell, and if there's 30 seconds left, then there's a bell again. Thank you for that informative pitch to start off with, and also for venturing into the environmental space. Shows you how diverse, these drones can be used, in various areas that we don't think of. So
Indeed.
Without any further ado, I'm going.
Hi, Chair.
I think the chair's gone.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I just saw that I muted myself. Apologies.
Oh, shame. Can I, Chair, may I have a couple of questions?
Please do.
Again, thank you very much for your presentation. I was particularly interested being an environmental consultant myself in the past. Sort of two questions, sort of similar to the last ones. The regulations, how have you addressed complying with the regulations in terms of providing a drone service?
So our main focus is actually the data and the environmental service itself. The drone services, I'm not particularly interested in getting an ROC or an RLA. I do have a remote pilot's license, so it allows me to fly, but we're going to outsource that. And I have a network of people that are willing to actually assist in that regard, to fly under.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry to say your remote pilot's license will not give you license to fly those drones for commercial. You may need to consider partnering with another ROC or something to that effect.
Sorry, that's actually exactly what I said. I agree with you.
Sorry.
So yeah, I have a license, but we'll register our drones under. I have a network of people that are willing to assist, and so register under the ROC and RLA. And then, yeah, but it will allow me to fly that under the act.
Understood. Sorry about that. And the other thing I was curious on the sort of business model side. When you deal with government bodies, I know that payment can be a bit of an issue and be delayed. And I'm just curious how you would accommodate that in your financial plan, your business sort of plan.
Yeah, in my experience at the moment, it could be a problem, but in my experience, government has been trying to up the game, and with the current project, it takes, if you hand in your invoice, they pay within a week. I haven't had any problem. If there are any issues, we have to obviously have to consider that at a later stage.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Louise. Next judge, please. The floor is yours.
Gareth, I think this is maybe a recommendation. Your 200,000 Rand that you say you need, maybe you already have a network. You mentioned it yourself. Like, just borrow a drone for a day and do the proof of concept that you want to do. So don't hold up your business's progress just because you don't have 200,000 Rand. I think that's maybe just a general point that I wanted to make to you. Yeah, I think also with a license, the other thing also, if you're going to try and do business with government, following on that point, it's like, it's bureaucratic, it's very bureaucratic, right? But so it doesn't mean you can't go to a corporate and say to them, you know what, let me fly a drone above your business, and we're going to see your emissions that come out of your tower of this one boiler that you're using, and help you in that regard. So again, so that you actually get traction and get your business going without having to go through the big corporates. That's my only thoughts. Thanks.
Thank you, Sylvester. Will do.
Thank you, Mr. Albani. Any other judges that wanted to ask a question? We still have some time.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Gareth, Oscar here. My question relates to the type of payload that you want to carry on a particular drone. I see the drone, or the picture that you showed as the Matrice DJI drone. So it's quite a heavy lift drone. Can you just give me some background in terms of the type of payload that you want to carry?
So the drone monitoring station, if I can call it that, the air quality monitoring station, it's about 3 kgs. It's not very heavy, 3 to 4 kgs. The Matrice has, in fact, I have flown it before. We purchased it at government, and we did a project in some areas, and so it's very capable of carrying the payload of 3 to 4 kgs, I think.
And is that the only payload that you will be using for the type of work that you do?
That's the only payload, because the others is you just require either a drone with an RTK attached, like a Phantom 4 to do the mapping, or have what they call GCP ground control points. Then you won't require, you just require a normal Phantom 4. And yeah, so the air quality station would be the main payload.
Thanks, Gareth.
Thank you, Sylvester.
Super. Vish, I take it that we still have some time. Judges, any other one that wants to make a comment or any questions? If not,
thanks, Chair. I'd like to ask a question, if I may, Chair.
Yes, you may. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Gareth. Thanks so much for the presentation. Buntu here, and I gather that there's a couple services you're providing here, and really we adding the drone business into it. And I like that you had brought in sort of what's your ask, and in order to get started. Or at least there's a cost side to this. What I didn't get is, considering who your target market is, what's the size of that target market? If this really goes well, what type of business, what size of business do you look to make? I think each of those that you highlighted as a target market, you could put some number there of what you think you can generate, over the next 3-5 years.
Okay.
You can, it's part question as well. If you have an idea because it then goes into the business model, which is, how sustainable is this going to be for you once you actually, working with those clients, and you have a price point for them, and that price point includes the cost of your equipment and drone and so on, and then the consulting side, which is sort of like, sounds like as the sale of advisory services and time. Yes. Really. And so I think if you can chat through a little bit about how you see that working out, and probably in future it will be quite key to say, this is how much we look to make from each project, this is how much it's going to cost us, we're walking away with this much, particularly for this business.
Okay, that's a very good point, Winter. You are 100% correct. I need to investigate it more. However, as you've identified, we are doing advisory. The advisory service is actually the main aspect of it. So we will charge according to that. We're not, if you look at surveying, it could cost thousands of rands if you send it to a land surveyor. What we don't want to do is charge, even if we charge half that amount, people or the client will gladly pay it, because you're going to have one comprehensive report. So we're going to charge according to our time spent as an advisor, depending, and that would differ from client to client, of course. I can't give you exact figures right now, but I will look into it. And so we would, if we do that, even if we reduce it to, these things usually take weeks, maybe a month for one. If we reduce it to a couple of days, you could imagine the kind of profitability that could bring.
Thanks, Gareth, for highlighting that. So I think those are key problems to highlight.
Okay.
I get it now. You're really saving them a lot of time and saving them a lot of money in your value proposition. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you to our esteemed judges for the questions. Colleagues, you also notice that our judges are not only here to ask questions or to make difficult comments, to our participants, but they're also here to advise, and also here to make some recommendations in certain areas, and also to ensure that our participants, when they leave this competition, they are better informed in what they want to do, and also they can change their strategies where necessary. So we are done with our first. I just heard that Luminous will unfortunately be able to pitch anymore. So we only had 3 companies that pitched in the first session. My own assessment is that the questions that the judges posed to the companies went very well, and those questions were adequately answered by our various participants. I want to thank the companies for making time to pitch, and also the judges. Our next session will be session 2. All, and also to our drone enthusiasts, thank you for joining us at our grand finale of our drone Tech Innovation Challenge. And let me once again thank our participants and our judges. With our judges, we also have Davis, who's also going to join us from Rees, who's also going to join us as a judge. So we have one more judge that's joining the team, Davis Cook from Rees. Can you please just reflect your screen, your photo of yourself, Davis?
Hi, everyone. Good to be here.
Cool. Thank you and welcome. So colleagues, you remember that during session 1, we could not get hold of Luminous. Luminous is back and ready to present. So session 2 will then be as follows. First, Luminous is going to pitch. After the Luminous pitching, we'll allow the judges to interrogate Luminous. We will then go over to session 2, which is our category 1 companies. And then the first company that will present will be Otonoski, followed by Delta Scan. After Delta Scan will be Oringo Technologies, followed by Hoover Aerial Captures, and then the last presenter then will be Kasi Labs. And then thereafter, we will then go over to announcing the winners, and also to hand over the prizes. Knox, if you can assist, please, are we going to announce the scores of the first session participants after Luminous, or we will do all the scores after the second session pitch? Can you please just give me direction there?
Thank you, Patrick. We will announce the winner after the second.
Come again, after the second session?
After the second session, yeah.
Okay, super. So colleagues, there we have it. Without any further ado, I'll allow Luminous to share their screen and to start with their pitch. Good luck and welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you please confirm if you can see our screen?
You are both audible and visible. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, we'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties that we faced in the previous session. I hope that you will find our presentation informative. We are Luminous Marketing and Branding, a full-service digital marketing agency that provides integrated marketing solutions. We're currently based in Durban, and we currently provide digital marketing solutions, brand management, consultancy. Photography is quite a new offering in our business, so we're branching into this, and we've seen that there is quite a huge market for photography, which is why we have chosen to also include properties as one of our main target markets for photography and aerial imaging.
As my partner have said, we have expanded now to drone aerial photography, but as well as helping companies that do energy performance certificates measurements. So basically, these are the companies that we've worked with. It's Manini Holding Agricultural Property, Embo Consultant, and Critically Energy, and Ubuntu Energy
Consortium. So we've identified a problem after working with other companies that are in the property space, that they need a one-stop shop for all their marketing needs at the same time. So we are providing a one-stop shop for them, not to just say that we're providing you with marketing only, but we want to provide them with marketing, we want to provide them with broadcasting, and we also want to help them when they are maybe presenting things that are on show, producing. As we move on to the digital space, a lot of companies want to see their properties online. They want to purchase properties online, and we're saying that we can use drone aerial photography and drone indoor photography to help with this in the property space.
But also, as we all know, I don't know if everybody knows that there's a new regulation that's coming up that is requesting all property owners, especially businesses, to display energy performance certificates. So we've seen an opportunity to partner with companies that will be offering energy performance certificates to help them to measure the surface area, flow area of those properties so that they can get accurate data.
Our solution is basically an aerial photography based marketing solution for the property space. This is where we use drones. So we'll use drones for two different things. We're using drones for photography, and we'll also be using drones for measurements. In terms of photography, we're going to be capturing properties from an aerial view. We're going to be capturing property internal view. This will be used by property managers, property owners, and agents, and any other entity in the property space.
And also another solution that we have that focuses on EPCs is that we, as I've said, we are partnering with companies that are offering energy performance certificate services to property owners. So we are going to be using drones to measure those flow areas so that they can get reliable data, which is efficient and also accurate.
Our value proposition basically is that we serve efficiency. You do not need to now go to someone else if you need measurements for your certification. You don't need to work with a different agent for photography and then work with a different agency for marketing. We're saying that we can broadcast, we can serve photography, and we can give you an energy performance certificate.
Our business model offers individual packaging, marketing for property agencies, and also a bed view content and monitoring. Also a real estate profiling mapping, as well as surveying and monitoring properties.
Our competition is basically other marketing agencies in the country that are providing drone and aerial photography, also broadcasting agencies in the country, and also other companies that are specifically dealing with drone and drone photography,
such as Santa Solution and Drone Visuals. So our target traction is we've partnered with Tobisa Properties, as well as Greenway Africa and EcoVisions. So these are the people that have agreed to work with us and to partner with us and test this business model. And our go-to market is social media, direct calls, online and offline meetings, as well as emails and property development endeavors to market ourselves.
So basically in our team, we are the ones leading the team. I come in from the marketing background and Makosi comes in from the drone background and also the energy space. We have worked with other energy companies and other property companies, which is what has helped us craft this solution for the market.
So our ask is 88,995 rands, such as drone phantoms, software and drone deploy and editing softwares.
Thank you very much.
Okay, super. Before I go over to the judges, thank you so much for the pitch. I think I'll also say that there was maybe a reason why they always say you save the best for last. That was really a good pitch. What I'll do is I'll do what I did during the previous session. I'm just going to open the floor for judges. The first one to go, please take the floor.
Thanks so much, Chair.
Oh, okay, you go.
Thank you, Nogukanya and colleague for the pitch. Very smooth indeed and engaging. Please, so two things I'd like to understand. The first is a little bit around who are you targeting here, right? I understand there's a real estate targeting and marketing around that, and then there's two solutions that you're bringing here. One being aerial footage, and then the other one being the energy, the EPC. I'm trying to understand how these work together as a business model and whether they are for the same clients or would it be for different clients. Those two solutions. That's sort of the first question. And the second question is, depending on if it is the same client or different clients, for each of those clients or target markets, how big is it? You know, I know you say that it looks like there's a great opportunity and that there's demand, especially because regulations are on your side. But you know, how big is the industry? How big can you make this business? Looking at the opportunity in those target markets.
I will start with your second question. So the industry is quite huge because now with this new regulation on our first client, on our second client, which will be the companies such as, for an example, Delta Carbon that we've spoken spoken to that provide energy performance certificates to property owners. So if you can imagine how many properties are here in South Africa, let alone in Durban, that now will require to comply with this new regulation. So it's a huge industry, as well as in terms of there's always development. People are always trying to market the new developments that are happening. So the property, I mean, the property industry and marketing and aerial photography is quite a huge space, and we are expecting growth in the upcoming years. And I don't remember the first question. If you can just please repeat for me.
Sure. So a little bit on this, on my second question is that, you know, what I would be expecting, I think, you know, as an investor, even as a partner, as an investor, what I'd like to see is how in rands, you know, how much is the real estate industry spending on EPCs, and how much is it spending on aerial photography? You know, if you give me, is it 200 million a year, is it 2 billion rand a year, and then what specifically type of real estate are you going for? You know, if for example, the people that are paying those that spend on aerial photography, is it residential property development like complexes? Is it commercial buildings? Is it industrial buildings, and so on? And so I think if you can paint a picture for us exactly who it is in the real estate industry that is paying this certain amount a year, will be good to hear. The first question is really an understanding of who is that. Is the client for EPC the same as the client for aerial photography? Can they be different?
No, they are not the same. So the companies for EPCs are I mean, it's more like we have two segments of customers. So the first one being the property and being the commercial properties, and then the second one being companies that offer services to property owners. So those are two different customer segments, but we are trying to find ways to integrate them. So we are still in communication with them. And also in terms of bridging the gap in terms of, my apologies, we are having distractions where we are. So okay. I'm a bit distracted, yeah.
Sorry, can we go? Oh, thank you, Mr. Majaja. Can we go over to the next judge? Thank you for those questions, Louise. I noticed that you raised your hand.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I'm going to ask the question. Are you aware of the regulations in terms of drone use? Sorry, you're on mute.
Okay, here they go. Here they go. Yes, you may.
Can you please repeat that question again? I'm sorry.
Sure. Oh, sorry. First of all, I should have said thank you very much for your presentation. But the second thing is are you aware of the drone regulations in terms of being able to use drones for your proposal?
You are muted, Nogukanya. I don't think she's aware.
Sorry, yes, we are aware of the regulations, but in terms of especially with the EPC one, we are still doing our research because this is a fairly new industry in terms of videography we are aware, but in terms of EPCs we are not. So we are still doing research.
Okay, I would, you do need to look carefully at the drone regulations, in particular, for using them for commercial purposes. And the other thing, again, so another sort of question is, have you considered, there are a lot of people using drones illegally and often in this sort of area for property. I don't know about using it for these energy certificates, but you might want to do a bit of research about that and consider that as well, because that may undercut your your, you know, the service you
Yes.
can provide.
Yes, yes, yes. And I mean, it is part of our competition. But as Luminous, we are licensed. I am a licensed drone pilot. And yeah, but we are aware that there are other people who may use drones illegally, and it's part of our competition.
Okay, does your company have an operating license?
No, well, I am a drone pilot myself, but we don't have an ROC. We are looking to partner with for companies like DC Geomatics. I had a conversation with them about partnering, and they gave me their quotations.
Okay, all right, thank you. That's kind of what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
Super. Just to add on that, before I go over to the next judge, Nogukanyo and partner, I would strongly recommend that you get hold of Louise's details to assist you in the areas that she actually highlighted with regards to regulations, etc., etc. Remember, we're not only here to judge you in terms of where you are, but we're also here to put our heads together and assist, especially in this first category of companies, to ensure that they actually, translate to be operational, making money, and also being competitive in the sector or in the industry. The next judge, please. The floor is yours. In the absence of anyone wanting to ask any questions, I also have just a few comments to make, Noktula, to the two of you that, this is just an observation. So my job is not to comment on the technical stuff and specifications that you guys pitched. But I must say you did very well under the circumstances that you found yourselves into. Remember, during the first session, your technical challenges and you couldn't pitch. Then you eventually, were able to pitch. And then, obviously you were so distracted, the surroundings, people were talking around you, but you kept your focus. You also, sent through the message and also the way the two of you interacted in terms of your own individual expertise in this area. That was really, really amazing. So well done. Just from my side, that is my comment. Okay, colleagues, our next session will then officially start. Noktula, thank you very much, and to you and your partner, and I wish you all the best with your venture going forward. Session 2 will now officially start, and without any further ado, I am going to ask, what's the company's name now? Otonoski. Otonoski, please, if you're ready.
Yeah, Otonoska.
Otonoska, okay. Otonoska, what is that? Is it Russian?
No.
I don't know what it is. Okay, cool, it's something there. All over to you, my friend.
Awesome. I'm just quickly setting up my presentation on Zoom. I'll have it going now. Can you see the presentation?
Visible. And you are also audible. You can go ahead.
Cool. Okay, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can.
Awesome, excellent. I'll start then. Thanks. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Amit, and I am the founder of Otonosky. Otonosky was founded to drive the innovation of aerial systems in the unmanned aerial vehicle industry with the impact of saving lives. Benjamin Franklin once said that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. While this axiom is often associated to a medical context, today I would like to apply it to all things emergency related. In an emergency, two things matter. How fast can you get there, and what impact can you make on the situation? I think you can see where I'm going with this. Drones offer an enticing solution. They provide fast accessibility, they gather data for reconnaissance, and they execute an impactful response through their payloads. So why hasn't it happened yet? Well, it turns out that there are a few things you need to have in place in order to use drones in emergency situations. Firstly, you need a ROC, which is a drone operator's license. This is issued by the Civil Aviation Authority. Then you need drones that are capable for your application. Different drones have different capabilities. For example, heavier payloads or longer flight times. The same goes for payloads. There are different types of payloads for different applications. Most commonly, cameras are fitted as the default payload. But drones are also capable of carrying payload delivery mechanisms. Lastly, and critically, you need some solid SOPs. Operating without these will reduce your chances of mission success. Autonomous Skies offering impacts all four aspects for success. Our first product is called ESP, which stands for Extra Sensory Perception. This is our video live streaming platform that is enhanced with computer vision to provide better situational awareness to the teams on the ground. The data is also transmittable to the control centers for more effective planning and more effective deployment of the ground teams. Our second product is called Firefly. This is our payload delivery system. We currently use it to deploy fire retardant balls to extinguish fires. But this payload can also be used to deliver supplies to stranded survivors. Firefly was CAD designed and 3D fabricated in-house. Lastly, we are in the final stages of being issued our ROC. We have designed specific SOPs to enable us to operate drones for the intended purposes of our technology. This gives us the ability to fly on behalf of our clients who may not have their ROC in place. By using our technology, the value that can be realized is firstly, speed and accessibility to remote areas during emergencies. Secondly, situational awareness powered by our computer vision. Third is the ability to execute impactful responses through our unique payloads. Lastly, it is cost saving compared to manned aviation and maritime alternatives. Our initial target market are rescue, fire, and security organizations. Our approach is to partner with a handful of these organizations, test our products, try to get some sort of endorsement, and then sell on to other organizations. Our technology can also be adapted for other industries such as maritime and energy. Currently, we have partnerships with the Western Cape Metro EMS and the Fire Prevention Association to test and hopefully adopt our technology in their operations. Our competitive advantage comes from creating and owning our own IP. We do this through leveraging breakthroughs in AI and robotics, also through our in-house design and fabrication capabilities, and creating effective SOPs for our operations. Our business model is a three-pronged approach. Firstly, we are creating new technology. This will present the opportunity to own intellectual property and license or sell our products to drone operators, first responders, or any other relevant parties. Secondly, our software platforms will be released as a SaaS model. The goal here is to generate recurring revenue through subscriptions. Lastly, we have the operation side of the business that will provide the drone services for organizations not yet licensed to operate drones. Currently, there is only one rescue organization in the country that does have their ROC in place. We have a diverse core team with a variety of skill sets, including business, engineering, marketing, and law. Are we relevant to maritime? Yes, we are. There are a variety of ways. There's security and surveillance, search and rescue, observing shipping traffic, disaster management. And one that particularly excites me is the prospect for us to use our delivery payload to deliver documents or parts to ships from the shore. There is no harm in hoping for the best as long as you are prepared for the worst. Thank you.
Ahmed, thank you so much for your pitch. That was very informative. Another one, bringing out another pitch where you bringing it from another angle, you know, saving lives, rescue, and also in the maritime sector, we make it relevant. That's the sector that we are finding ourselves into. So without any further ado, I'm going to allow the judges to engage with you. And, yeah, the first judge, please, the floor is yours.
Amit, it's Sylvester here. Maybe just a question on scale and traction in your operations. Sort of, how do you measure it? Is it number of flights that you've done, and like how busy are you? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Okay, so 2021 has been a year for us to create IP. That's a big part of our business model. And I think we've been fairly successful in creating 2 compelling products and getting our RSC on board. The revenue part of it and the numbers really kick in from next year. For this year, we've also created partnerships with the Western Cape Metro EMS to utilize our streaming platform in their search and rescue operations. And then the Fire Prevention Association to test our fire extinguishing capabilities. I think with numbers, it will be largely based on our investment into the organization versus the return on investment that we are getting. And it's still something that we will solidify. I wouldn't have precise figures for you right now.
So then maybe one last question. How many people do you have in your team at the moment, other than the core team that you showed there?
There's 8 of us in the team.
8, and then how will that scale as you start operating? That's my last question, I promise.
Yes, that's a great question. Thanks, Sylvester. So the core team will kind of remain the core team. I think what I've done with this startup, different to my prior experience, is to get more senior people up front. But when we look at the fabrication and the flying and some of the more operational aspects, we'll scale numbers in that space. We are constantly paying attention to talent. Yes, the other organization that I've started as a software company where talent acquisition has been a big thing. So scaling is going to rely on talent, but it's something we can definitely do.
Thank you.
Sylvester, thank you so much. Next judge, over to you.
Amit, this is Oscar Philander. I have a question around your AI and the specific analysis of data that you guys are obtaining from the aerial imagery. Can you just elaborate a bit more on that specifically?
Yeah, I can maybe just give you, maybe start with giving you the use case we initially intended for. So in mountain search and rescue, when a drone is deployed to search, often the pilot has a tablet mounted onto his controller. Is busy flying, trying to keep a search pattern and search for people or objects of interest. And it's really difficult. And we've seen in search and rescue, guys carry like TV screens and HDMI cables to try and get a bigger picture for searching. And what
Sorry, Amit, we just lost you there. Myself. Oscar, could you hear Amit?
No, not at all. You just went. Your audio disappeared there.
If you can just repeat yourself, sir, please. We just lost you there.
Okay. The part where I was telling you how they use televisions to try and get a bigger picture. Yeah,
yes.
So what we do is we grab that video stream. So you wouldn't need a big television. We run it through our computer vision to implement detection. And we managed to put bounding boxes around objects and people of interest. And I think that's been something we're quite proud of, to be able to assist in rescue in that way. It's enhanced and it's helping. And furthermore, we can broadcast that feed to the control center. And for the EMS guys, at the control center, they have people who are more trained to look at these images and make sense of them. And one of the things that they've been lacking is the live streaming. So we're doing the live streaming with the computer vision, which...
Very interesting, Amit. Thanks for that. And in terms of your operations, have you included flight beyond visual line of sight?
Yes, initially we are applying in our application for our ROC. We've got 3 kilometers of BB loss. I've got a BB loss rating on my RPL. Yeah, so it's something we feel is super necessary in what we do, because often in search and rescue, for example, you need to fly search patterns. And if you have good pilots, you can do it manually. But the best is that, if you have a BB loss, you can actually set up the search patterns. And that, coupled with our computer vision, can largely automate those, enhance those operations.
Thank you.
Super interesting. I'm honestly becoming an expert in drone tech now. I'm not a novice anymore. Judges, any one of you that?
Yeah, thanks. So I'd like to pick up on just one item. You said that there are 3 prongs to your business model, which is around IP, software as a service, and then running operations.
Yes.
And you have 8 people.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
It would seem to me to be quite a stretch to run what are essentially 3 different businesses with 3 different underlying competencies, especially as an early stage business. So,
yes.
Are you not spreading yourself too thin by doing all of this?
So although our team is 8 people, there's a software company that I founded called ByteOrbit, and we outsource some of the software development to them from the platform and security perspective. But you are right, 8 is a small number, and the other reason for it is I mentioned we are in the final stages. We are in the final stages of getting our ROC. The biggest holdup in getting the ROC was the air service license, which has been problematic. I'm sure you'll hear from other companies in the competition even with the same problem. So we've held back at creating or hiring for all of the roles in that aspect until the ROC is active. The reason is, if we did it now, we are self-funded, and we would literally be paying people to sit and do nothing until that ROC is in place.
So did you exhaust, colleagues, did we all exhaust our questions or our comments to Emmett? If that's the case, then, sir, thank you so much for your pitch. It was really informative. I think you can advance and enhance the rescue and emergency services sector, and also obviously the maritime sector that we found ourselves into. All the best for you, and good luck for your business going forward.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me, and we look forward to the results section a bit later.
Yes, we will definitely engage a bit later again. Thank you so much. Right, colleagues. Right, colleagues. Now, without any further ado, we are moving to our second. Participant in our session 2, that is Delta Scan. Please give me an indication whether Delta Scan is ready to pitch, and if you are, please share the screen and also put your camera on so that we can see you. Thank you.
Can you hear me at the moment?
Daryl, we hear you.
Hi there. How are you doing?
I'm well, man, and you?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
Super. Floor.
All right. I'm just going to share my screen and then we can hit it. Sorry, it says another participant is currently sharing.
Oh, yes. Emmett, can you please stop sharing from your side? Emmett, because you are still sharing. Just
100%. I'm actually going to drop off because the sharing bar is hidden on my computer. So I'll drop off. I'll see you guys later.
All right, then. See you later, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, perfect. Okay, is my screen currently sharing?
Please, I can confirm, Daryl.
Okay, excellent. So DeltaScan has reinvented the inspection and asset management workflow by focusing on data and addressing the asset market's greatest pain points. How do we better visualize? How do we better store information and manage the long-term maintenance of an asset? And what we call that is going beyond the 3D model. How do we take the data from drones and from 3D tech and make it usable? So at the moment, inspection audits, infrastructure audits are incredibly cumbersome, and it has become all about guesswork. There's companies that hang down on ropes. The inspections are unsafe. They are time consuming, incredibly expensive, and the reporting itself has so many limitations. Companies don't like receiving stacks of PDF documents, which are hard to navigate, hard to store and communicate what is actually going on site. The other issue is that most off-the-shelf platforms that target the drone market, that target ROCs, are focused on mass market adoption. And in doing that, they water down the solution. They reduce its offering and the potential that the data value can actually provide to the professional industry. So most companies focus on inspections. And this is where you get it wrong, because an inspection is a once-off thing. It's an isolated event. What DeltaScan created is the process of continual, regular asset monitoring. And that changes an inspection into asset maintenance, which is the long-term management of an asset, monitoring performance, wear and tear, and ensuring that the structures or the asset as a whole is always performing optimally. We've developed software and focused on the data and the security compliance around that kind of information. We are a data analytics company. We combine drone technology with software, with hardware and programming to develop customized solutions on reporting on assets. We developed a solution that focuses on collaboration and integration, where reports, models, CAD data, and all the information about the asset is stored in one location. And we guarantee project savings. We guarantee that our solution is going to save the client money. We've spent many years building a cloud platform where all your assets are maintained and managed in one model space, in one environment. If you're an oil and gas company, a refinery, or a mining house, all your assets are stored in one place. You can now monitor how are they performing over time. When are they due for the next inspection? What is the current asset condition? And when is the next critical point to intervene and do the next audits on site? So we've come from an engineering background with a combined 30 years experience in the engineering asset management space. We took all the knowledge that we've learned over the years and tapped into the power of drone tech, of 3D tech, and started focusing on a gap in the market, a niche in the market where we can turn that into incredible engineering value. So our workflow is very different from the general ROCs out there because we focus on decentralizing data capture. We take drones and we see it as a tool that allows us to not be limited geographically that allows us, and we often doing analytical models. There we extract engineering value, and the asset information is stored on the cloud where you can visualize it, where you can measure, and you can interact with the data on a regular basis. Why timing is so critical is because COVID has forced the professional industry to embrace digital, to embrace the new reality of what managing and engineering is about. Everyone is looking for the next best solution, how to do things safer, how to do them faster, and how to do them smarter. Not only that, but the new generation of engineers and asset managers coming through have grown up in a world of digital, of iPads and computers, and this is the norm. This is what everybody is searching for. We started in 2018, limited to the South African market purely by word of mouth. And over the last 2-3 years, we've expanded into 7 countries on 3 continents. The biggest thing here is that our customer retention is 100%. What that means is every time we've serviced a client, an asset owner, is that they've come back for more. And we've been able to really get in with their workflow and become the go-to guys in the market. So what we focus on is large-scale asset maintenance, looking at refineries, mining houses, processing plants, as well as commercial. And the way that we do that is we can manage the entire site and all the individual assets as a whole. And it completely changes the dynamic that we interact and manage the infrastructure and engineering on site. We target engineers to give them better informed decisions. Most engineering companies in South Africa use us to do their condition audits. Inspection companies around the world are using us to give them information on how the asset is performing. The asset owners themselves are using our tools and our cloud platform to manage their entire ecosystem of assets around the world, and insurers use us to look at the condition of failures, to understand the causes and how to reinstate the structures. The market is currently valued at $230 billion in inspections, with $9 billion allocated to drones alone. And by 2030, there's a forecast of $33 billion in the drone inspection market. We can easily tap into at least $10 million of that market with minimal marketing and expansion. So there's many competitors in the industry, but our solutions are very different and they are significantly better. It's been built by engineers from the ground up. We've been doing this for 8 years, and that has been 8 years of testing, of learning, of making mistakes and refining what we do so that we can do things better than anyone else in the market. We've also packaged the solutions to make them scalable so that we can take on international entities and we can really expand into new upcoming markets. The short-term goal is to become leaders in Africa with a long-term goal of being the global inspection company. The company's core team is myself. I'm a professional structural engineer. Justin is a professional architect, and Dale is our business development manager. And underneath us, we have a team of technicians, software developers, and AI scientists that build our solutions. We're looking currently, we've got a lot of work planned for the plant shutdowns coming up this year. And next year, we really want to focus on additional software builds and expansion into the international markets further. I'm going to leave it there, and thank you very much for your time.
Daryl.
Yes.
Well, that was powerful. You know, it is really good pitch. In fact, I just love the way that the different pitches are scaled. You know, in the property sector, in the previous session with someone on a smaller scale in property development, looking at residential, and you are pitching something, you know, here at the commercial level, much bigger, looking at, you know, petrochemical and oil and gas. Thank you so much. Without any further ado, I'm going to allow Oscar, because I can see that he's burning, to engage you after that.
Sure.
Ubuntu Majala will then be next person after the next judge, after Oscar. Oscar, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you, Daryl. That was quite a nice presentation. My question relates to your actual drone operations. Does Delta Scan own a ROC? Do they have pilots on staff, or is this something that you outsource?
Yeah, so we actually do have pilots on staff. We also have drone regulatory experts, but we outsource all the data collection. Our business model is to tap into the ROC industry. We work with many of the major companies. We actually do a lot of their inspections with them and for them, and that allows us to operate anywhere. Our model is built around using the drone as a tool and focusing on the data analytics as the solution.
Thank you. Great.
Sure.
Excellent.
Over to you.
Thanks, Daryl. Ubuntu here. It's a pleasure to meet, and great presentation. Really great work you guys are doing. Looking forward to what's coming up. I just want to see if I understand, you know, this a little bit better. Well, what your model is. Your direct clients are the drone ROC inspecting guys who work in these various industries, and then essentially they pay you to pull the data into your cloud platform and provide reports back to them. And of course, broader than that, but I'm oversimplifying, forgive me. But did I capture it properly there? So what am I missing?
Sure, Bunty. So the drone ROCs are one small segment of the target market. A lot of our work is done for inspection giants, so for the rope access companies of this world, the current big inspection companies. We also service engineering companies throughout the world and a lot of the insurance companies as well. So when we service the ROC market, typically they may be operating and have a certain clientele, and that client is asking for a more advanced inspection than photos or videos alone, which is what most of the ROCs offer, because a drone is essentially an inspection tool. And when the client is needing engineering compliance or actual insight into the performance of the asset, that's where we get involved. And we do that for many of the ROCs locally and abroad.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. So in terms of, because what I'm gathering is then really it's a software play, right, that you're doing, data analytics play. And I'm trying to get a sense of the pricing model. How are you pricing? Where are you pricing? And for these different customers?
Sure. So it's a very difficult question to answer, but let me say that the inspection market has standards. So we know the pricing of, for example, doing a cooling tower or a smokestack or inspecting an entire mine. A lot of these sites, they have what's known as a plant shutdown audit. So Sasol or a mining company once a year will go into a shutdown where they switch off everything, and they bring inspection companies on board to look at the condition and the performance of all of their assets. Typically, we aim to come in at a fraction of the conventional inspection technology. We do it, I mean, a nice example, let me use a client in Botswana, one of the big mining houses. We won a tender last year to do their shutdown audits, and we were told that we came in at 1/5 of the next price above us. And they had pitched for doing the inspection over 3 weeks, sending in rope teams and scaffolding teams into the silos. We were there in and out within 45 minutes in a structure. And that's at a client that loses $1 million every single day that the mine is shut down. So those are the kind of efficiencies and the savings that we really aim to address with this kind of approach.
Gotcha. Thanks for that. I'm asking because I'm wondering whether there isn't a SaaS model here for one or some of your clients, where a subscription will allow you to scale much faster, drop your costs of acquisition, and also be able to plan quite well your projections. So really that's where I'm thinking around, might be part comment, part question, whether, what type of SaaS subscription models are there for some of your clients in going forward. And my second question was around your projections. Really a technicality here, whether was it ZAR or USD, and in future it will be great to see how your costs are growing compared to your top line. That way we can see how really the sustainability is looking like and the scalability is looking like, so that every year we get a sense of what you taking home and able to reinvest.
Sure, absolutely. So quite a few questions to answer there. Software as a service is the question that comes up almost every day lately. You're not the first person to bring it up. And what we initially intended to do was create a platform for ourselves to give us a unique offering in the market with our current inspections that we do. But the reality is so many clients, from the drone companies to the asset owners, have asked us, can we utilize your platform? Can we use it for ourselves? So we definitely are in a space where we're starting to explore that and to look at pricing models. It's something we still have to iron out, but it's probably the way that will go in the future. The second aspect is, sorry, what was the second question? The projections on. So currently we've had a solid 100% growth in turnover every single year. We've managed to double our turnover since we launched. We have put a lot of focus this year into software, into development. So Our expenses have gone up, but our EBIT and our net profit before tax has also doubled on a yearly basis. So it's looking positive. We don't plan on just doubling every year. We want to 10x. We want to develop a solution that we can really scale at a fast rate, and we want to take on many markets and diverse markets across the world.
Excellent. Thanks, Daryl. That's all my questions for now. Thank you. All the best.
I see Mr. Albani
Yeah.
wanting to ask a question. Mr. Albani?
Yeah, Daryl, just one thing. I think on that slide we had the $10 million in revenue.
Hi, sorry, Patrick.
Well,
I don't think
apologies.
we have enough time for another question,
No problem.
unfortunately.
It's not a
Sorry,
problem.
Sylvester.
Okay,
No problem.
sorry. I didn't also follow the time, or I didn't hear the bell ring. Sorry, Sylvester. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sylvester, perhaps you can ask the question in the chat and Daryl can respond there.
Yeah, cool. Will do.
Super.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Daryl, thank you so much, and thank you for the pitch. Thank you for availing yourself. Sylvester will engage with you for the next question. Colleagues, without any further ado, Daryl, if you can be so kind to unshare so that the next participant can share there. The next participant is Hoover Aerial Capture. I just hope that they are ready to share their pitch and also to switch the camera on so that you can see them. There you go. Isaac, is it you?
Yes, it's me.
Can you, yes. Thank you, the floor is yours. Just see, we're still sharing here. Okay. Sharing options is open. There we go.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, good afternoon. We can hear you. We can see you.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes, that is also visible.
Thank you so much. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Patricia Ndlovu, and I have Goniso Afrikaner here with me. We are representing Hoover Aerial Capture, which is a mapping company, which is aimed at mapping high-risk informal settlements to create 2D and 3D model maps, which can be used by our clients for disaster preparedness. Our mission is to save lives and subsequently create a safer environment for people living in informal settlements. So the problem that the business is trying to address is basically insufficient mapping of informal settlements to mitigate the damage caused by fire and to help teams to make informed strategic decisions. So in the event of a fire, in informal settlement, usually first aid responders, such as first firefighters, spend time studying the fire location before starting the fire and rescue operations. This is due to the characteristics of these communities. They're usually not easily accessible. There are no planned evacuations, so it takes time for firefighters to study the area and then they can start their firefighting rescue operations. And in that process, there's a delay of the operations, and obviously it causes infrastructure damage, such as homes, more shacks being built down, municipality infrastructures also being damaged, and yeah. The graph that is depicted on this slide provides some background into the birth of our product. The pie chart on the left indicates that informal settlement had undergone the most number of fatalities through fire. This is recorded in 2018. As a result, it has 50% compared to other categories such as agricultural fires and forest fires. The graph on the right provides insights into the consistent increasing number of fires per year in informal settlements. This is between the year 2003 and 2018. This is the most updated information that was available, and which is again, stresses the need for more frequently updated data. Our solution consists of creating 2D maps and 3D model maps, which will obviously have a detailed attribute data of the existing objects. These maps will highlight the important attributes which can be used by firefighters in their operations. Some of the examples of these attributes that we were talking about can be the nearest rivers, the nearest main roads that these firefighters can use to access these informal settlements. Our value proposition lies in the provision of high spatial resolution maps as opposed to the normal aerial satellite images or maps that are being used currently. As you can see on our screen on the left-hand side, that's a satellite map that is currently being used, but compared to the drone map that we were to create, it's much more clearer, and you can see exactly what the attributes that we are talking about that we will be able to highlight for these teams. Also, our value proposition consists of using the drone technology as compared to helicopters, which are commonly costly. And this will allow us to have frequently updated maps because we will be using drone technology as compared to helicopters. And obviously, our most important value proposition is the saving lives of people. If firefighters have these kind of maps to prepare themselves before they even get to the fire location, that would mean more people will be saved and more lives of people will be saved during the event of a fire. This is also important because in the Constitution of South Africa, Section 24, of 1996, it highlights that everyone has a right to an environment that is not detrimental to his or her health. And also currently, due to the disaster management regulations that we currently as a country are under in the pandemic, there is a limitation placed on the number of people that can be gathered in a facility. That means that municipalities had to no longer provide temporary accommodation for people who are struck by disaster management because of these regulations of COVID-19. There's only a limited number of people who are allowed in these facilities. That means you get some people who are affected by the disaster that are left homeless, even though they are temporary shelters that are available in municipalities, but due to the disaster management regulations, they are not allowed to exceed the number of people inside a facility. So we think that with this solution, we can eventually help people. We can help people who are left homeless. Our revenue model consists of 3 revenue streams, namely the consultation phase, the monitoring and reporting phase. For the consultation phase, the client will have to pay a fee based on the desktop analysis, on-site data collection using drones, and obviously the creation of maps. For the map updates phase, the client will have to pay a retainer fee based on the data collection, and obviously if there's a need for updating the maps, the client will have to obviously pay for us to update those maps. And lastly, the monitoring. Given the characteristics of informal settlement, it will be important that we monitor these areas, because you all know that the growth of informal settlement, they grow unexpectedly. Today, you can have a number of informal shacks that are there only to wake up to increase. So we think monitoring these places definitely is important. Our target market is obviously municipalities and firefighting departments, firefighting stations, the Fire Protection Association of South Africa, the Department of Disaster Management. This is basically because these stakeholders who deal with the fire incidents directly, and municipalities are in charge of overseeing people's safety and the well-being of the people within their municipalities.
Patricia, I hate to do this, you are out of time, so if you can just rush a bit. No, that's fine. Just carry on. but you're out of time. I just want to make you.
Our competitive advantage is based on our team being all their qualified drone pilots. We'll be using the drone technology, and we do have access to experienced mentors in the drone industry, and we're obviously open to partnership and collaborations. This is we are in communication with the Chief Fire Officer of the Municipality of eThekwini to prove our concept. This is the amount that we will need to prove our concept. It's roughly around 50,000 rands. And this is some of how we're going to use our funds for pre-sat assessment, data capturing, data processing, and obviously map creation. And this is our team members. We have a diverse team with different experiences and backgrounds. And like I've said, all our team members are RPL holders. Thank you.
Super, Patricia, super. I mean, woman power coming through this whole challenge. You know, in the first session, we had 2 ladies there, and also now in this session. Thank you so much for your pitch. You a different dimension to this challenge in terms of the services offered. Judges, over to you.
Hi, Patricia. Oscar Philander here. My question relates to your engagement with your potential clients. In your presentation, you talk about clients, but have you engaged with them, and what is the potential for your company to actually find traction in that market specifically?
Thank you for the question. I think as we have quoted our quote here by our world, which states that obviously informal settlement here in Africa are here to stay. So we can't really neglect or turn a blind eye on informal settlements. They are going to continue be in our municipality. Also, obviously, we do need to find solution to regards to informal settlement. And just to answer your question, we have communicated with the Chief Fire Officer of municipality simply because we obviously started with fire stations, and the fire station said that they are currently not in position to implement the solution, but they have referred us to someone who is higher, which is the Chief Fire Officer of eThekwini municipality. That's why we have been communicating and setting a meeting to explain and do a demonstration for them.
Okay, and then my second question relates to your drone operations specifically. Do you guys have a ROC? I know you said that the 4 of you are all in possession of RPLs, but do you have a ROC to perform these types of operations?
No, we do not have the ROC, but we are currently partnering up with other companies that are in the industry. So we definitely have partnered up with someone who's going to be doing the data processing for us, and then we all do the mapping together. So obviously we are going to need a company that has the ROC, which definitely gives us permission to fly over people. And like I have explained that we will be targeting high risk informal settlement. It wouldn't make sense if we want to go around and obviously map out all informal settlement around South Africa, but definitely we'll be targeting high risk informal settlement. That's why we're going to need the pre-site assessment for doing desktop analysis. That's where we'll be using all our resources from municipalities, whatever information that we can get to point out those high risk informal settlement. That's how we're going to start our operations.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you, Oscar, for the questions. Any other judge that has a question or comment, Patricia? Colleagues? For the first, second, and third. No, Patricia, thank you so much for a wonderful pitch. I wish you all the best with your ventures, and I hope that we'll see you as a company that is delivering the services, these essential services, obviously, to the informal settlement. Thank you so much.
Definitely, thank you so much.
And unshare your presentation.
Thank you so much.
And also mute. Thank you so much. Right, guys, Our last participant is Kasi Labs, Ekasi.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I think I was skipped.
Sorry, who's
Isaac.
Isaac.
Oringo Technologies.
Oh, Oringo. Yes, I did skip you, Oringo. I did.
Yeah.
How naughty of me.
Very naughty.
Apologize first for skipping you. And secondly, can you be so kind, but you did a good thing there. Eh? You must never allow someone to push you out of the line. You just jump back. So if you are ready, Isaac of Oringo Technologies, sorry, colleagues, can you please take the floor? You can share your screen and also put on your camera. See you.
Okay. Okay, so I'm using a different mic and a different screen to share. So yeah. Okay, so let me see. Let's start the video now. Okay, can everybody see the presentation?
Is visible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I am Isaac Mongali from Oringo Technologies, and our main focus as a company and as a business is manufacturing in Africa. Now, the problem we identified with this is There's three different problems. First being mindsets. The continent is plagued with poverty, hunger, and rampant unemployment. This is because there is a prevalent mindset that hinders effective long-term thinking, which stifles creativity and innovation. Two is a lack of support. Manufacturing in South Africa was seen as a dying industry, and as a result, this led to there being a lack of sufficient support for local manufacturers. The lack of support led to the local industry not being able to effectively compete at a global scale. The third being skilled human capital, shortage of skilled professionals and investment within the sector. This is partly a result of underperformance in STEM subjects, which is your science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in high school. Now, what is the solution? We as Oringo Technologies developed Horizon Education, which is a subsidiary of Oringo Technologies. Horizon focuses on increasing human capital within STEM fields. Our aim is to combat the loss of potential due to the lack of proper teaching, inadequate infrastructure, and insufficient attention to individual learners. We provide 3 products or services. The first being tutoring services. We take an individualistic approach to learning and consolidate material learned in class. We basically provide you with comprehensive learning material that is aligned with the CAPS that takes a learner from the classroom to the real world. We then develop career-oriented development kits, right? That is a unique product that we developed. And these kits are future ready, are focused on future ready careers that place learners in the best position to ensure future proofing of learners that undergo our program or purchase our products. The third being workshops and training. These workshops work hand in hand with our career-oriented development kits. There are 2 parts to our workshops: understanding the concepts behind the kits and building the kit. The product we first produce as our career-oriented development kit is a drone, a DIY assembly drone. The focus here is to teach robotics because, as we all know, a drone is basically a robot that flies. This comes together with comprehensive learning material and unique contents developed on robotics, which is called the 3 Bs of robotics. There's the blood, the brain, and the body. And if you know your robotic parts, you'll know that they correspond with the different elements of a robot. Our market size is 25,000 schools in South Africa, and there's 12 million students in South Africa. Our service available markets, which is in our catchment area in Durban, there are 600 schools in Durban. And our market share, we have managed to collaborate and acquire 6 schools where we are rolling our pilot program, more especially in Hamptons High School, which is the first school we started with. And the progress and development that has happened with the kids and the principal has been just overwhelming, and properly geared and structured the kids to wanting to pursue careers within STEM. Our family, the Oringo family, includes 3 founders. mainly from engineering backgrounds, myself from electrical, Antoine Famba from computer, and Tinashe from chemistry, from the chemical engineering branch. Our family altogether, there's 20 members, and we have completed 12 projects. We have entered 14 competitions and have hosted 16 workshops. Our direct competitors include Brightspark, Turtle Jar, Teach Me Too. Our indirect competitors include Sphero, DGI, and Lego. Our business model is simple. There's tutoring services. It's going to be private or group, and whether private or group, it's going to be either at our learning center or on Zoom, and in that determines the price per hour. Our workshops, they target 3 different markets, from grade 4 to 6, from grade 7 to 12, and organizations looking to upskill their employees. And based on that, we either give you an individual fee or we give you a group fee for 10 members. And then as well as we sell our DIY assembly drones, there is the one that comes with the workshop for 2,000 Rand, and there's the one that is the previous one that I showcased, which is for 4,500 Rand. Our competitive advantage is that we provide cutting-edge technology, focus on future-ready careers that put learners in the best position and ensure future-proofing of learners that undergo our program or purchase our products. Our partnerships include Hamptons High School and their sister schools, support from Innovate Durban as an incubatee, and World Economic Forum Global Shapers as a collaborator. We have also partnered with Project X, which is a software development college, and we are one of the sections that they cover as their learning material. And thirdly, we are easy to use. Our workshops will take on a carefully crafted phased approach to fully immerse any participant in the production of any one of our career-oriented development kits. We also give off our social responsibility as we offer free services to seniors and people who are differently abled. Our future roadmap includes the following: seed funding from this year till next year, as we require machinery, equipment, and factory space to scale up our operations. Because currently we've just completed our prototype, and that prototype is what's being used as our initial career-oriented development kit. Secondly, in the next years to come, we aim to acquire Series A funding to grow and expand to the rest of Africa. Now, as for the bonus challenge, our career-oriented development kits can then be adjusted to fit into the energy sector and teach and promote student engagement into the energy sector. Thus, in that case, I can just provide an example. For instance, we can teach them how to generate electricity. So develop an additional kit upon the drone and allow learners to understand how to generate energy in an alternative manner using electronics circuitry. So that's on that end. That is how we are inclusive of the how we can adjust our business, our package to include the bonus challenge. I think I have mentioned. Thank you.
Isaac,
yes.
Can you be so
yes.
kind and switch your camera on so that you can just view of you and also during the duration of the questions?
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Let me see.
Okay. Right.
Are you there?
Yes. There, Isaac. Yes.
Okay. Super. Isaac, thank you so much for your presentation. Once again informative. Also add value, obviously, to the whole drone technology advancement. I will now hand over to the judges to invite you. First judge. Floor is yours.
Judge. Chair. Good afternoon, Isaac. Great, thanks for the presentation. Couple thoughts, but we'll start with the question really. So your problem is education, right? You're an education solution. where in a low skills area, and you want to increase the skills in Africa, in the region around robotics. So, and you're doing this through training and content. So what I want to get a sense of your experience is, how is it like training the trainer? How is it like finding a good trainer in an area of limited expertise like this?
Okay, so luckily enough, I am from an engineering background, and through my experience, I've accumulated a lot of relationships with different engineering students and whatnot. So in the training field, I am able to recruit a lot of the engineers I've met along my journey, and I can bring them on board and teach them quickly, because they've already developed that mindset of understanding how to think about the stuff and also how to now teach. The next step would just to teach them how to teach now, in terms of relaying the message now, the knowledge they have to the children or the market that we're targeting. So luckily enough for myself, I'm also have been a part of Engineers Without Borders. So in that collection, I have a vast network of people to choose from in terms of joining my team. As I mentioned, even the co-founders alone, it's mainly engineers with one accountant. So from that perspective, the team has a lot of people who are well-versed in the content. Yeah.
Cool, thanks, Isaac. I get that, and so I think that can come more across in what you're doing here, particularly in what you're presenting, particularly in how that's going to look as you grow. You know, how is it going to look as you tap into the 600 schools in Durban, as you tap into the 12 million learners in South Africa? How will you still have access to those, and is there a challenge related to those? As a business ran by engineers, I did not see much financial numbers. You know, I saw numbers, but I didn't see what does that mean for to have 12 million students as a potential market in terms of ZAR or in terms of USD, which then goes to my second question, which is, you know, even the seed funding here, you know, is I'm not sure how much you're looking for. My second question is then, how much are you looking for, and also what are your projections financially, you know, in the next 3 to 5 years?
Okay, so how much we're looking for, because currently what we need is equipment and machinery and a space. Those three things, and then we're sorted. From our calculations, we need over 800K, and we can secure the machinery and equipment, and then obviously rent or lease out a space for about, say, I think 40,000 a month or so, for manufacturing space, and also just as a facility to operate from as well. So those are our needs for now. So I would say a good million as a start off, and we will be operational in terms of getting to that scale that we need to be on. And then the second question was projections for the next few years. It was sitting on, okay, so I am not the finance expert on our team. I am more the vision seller. In terms of the projections, I think we're sitting at about 5 million in the next, in terms of revenue, 5 million in the next 3 years, I can share my projections with you guys later on, just so you can get an in-depth view of our analysis. But that's just with the three business models we sent through in this pitch.
Super.
Yep.
Super. Isaac, time is catching up with us. I hope, judges, if there's any questions that you have to Isaac, please post it in the comment box. I just don't want us to leave here very late. Isaac, thank you so much for your pitch. I want to thank you for and all judges. I'm going to judge Isaac. Sorry, if you can be so kind and unshare so that we can allow the team from Kasi Labs to do their thing. Kasi Labs, you are ready for us, please share your presentation, switch on your camera so that we can see you and do your thing. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can you see our screen?
We can see you and we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting us to participate in the DroneTech Innovation Challenge. Today, Sipungazi and I would like to tell you how we're going to save human lives as well as protect our planet. How are we going to save human lives? In the 7.5 years between 2010 and 2017, there were 1,473 fatal drownings in the Western Cape alone. Children under the age of 15 accounted for over 30% of these deaths. Now, just imagine that each lifeguard tower has a drone with a fully trained drone pilot that can dispatch a drone as soon as a drowning victim is spotted. The drone flies out to the victim and immediately drops a life-saving flotation device directly over the head of the person. This gives the person who is in danger of drowning the support to stay afloat, while giving the lifeguards additional seconds to get to them. Imagine the impact that saving one life will have on that family enjoying their Christmas vacation. How are we going to save the planet? 2 decades ago, a bulk ore carrier, the MV Treasure, was transporting oil from China to Brazil when it sank near Robben Island. The sinking of this oil vessel threatened to wipe out the African penguin population. The oil spill resulted in one of the largest animal rescues of all time. Unfortunately, the prevailing currents continued to move the oil north towards the penguins and the breeding and feeding grounds. Imagine the action that could have been taken if a drone was deployed to monitor the currents and allow the rescuers to plan the rescue of the penguins before the oil reached them. With the current drone technology available, birds could have been identified at risk and moved to a safer area before becoming covered in oil. This technology exists. We just need to train pilots to fly these drones. The possibilities for protection of the environment and animals is endless. We just need to upskill the correct people to grow the drone industry and allow these possibilities to become a reality. So, how are we going to achieve this?
Our solution is to train drone pilots and create jobs that never existed. We're going to do this by skills transfer to the previously disadvantaged, especially focusing in women. Our product is unique because most of the training will be done online, which adds more value to our training. Since we are accredited with MICT-SETA, actively training with 4IR skills, and we are CAA compliant, we can start the training in no time. Our target clients is those that love the environment and willing to pay to save the planet. We have identified municipalities, national sea rescue institutes, the seafood industry, tourism, and environmental affairs. We will reach out to them using the maritime conferences, through their websites, and using all social media platforms. If 200 people die every year in the Western Cape, if we save 10% every year, that will be 20 lives saved a year. Our growth projection is that we will have one training school and we will train 180 individuals, which are constituted by 120 pilot license crew and 60 quality and safety crew. In year 5, we would have trained 1,440 individuals and have 8 drone training schools in place. Meet the dream team. Why should you choose us? We are a dynamic, all-women team with a passion for training. 20 years experience in training the youth of this country. I am an award winner for advocacy in STEM in the year 2019, And in 2018, I won the MTN Foundation Entrepreneur of the Year for impact training. Kerry is a founder of Bumblebee Academy. She's a chairperson for the pilot training, quality and safety chamber of the Drone Council of South Africa, and has been managing resources for training for over 14 years. We also have support from CASA, ATOSA, and we are working with the Drone Council of South Africa on numerous sandbox experimental projects. If you want to train a drone pilot to save lives and the planet, please get in contact with us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. And I believe that people will definitely get in contact with you. More people that was on this platform and also out of the platform. Colleagues, I'm looking at our time. We've been managing it very well so far. Without any further ado, I'm going to open the floor up to the judges to engage with you. Judges.
Hi, Chair. Louise here.
Yes, Louise, I can hear you. Go ahead.
A couple of questions. Thank you very much for your presentation there. Get the idea behind your mission to save lives and to certainly, deal with environmental disasters. I'm just curious, how do you tie this in? There's a lot of pilot training going on, but the job opportunities, the employment opportunities, how's the link between training people for the specific areas you're targeting and actually where are they going to go? Are you providing that company that's also going to be the life-saving company or the environmental monitoring company as well? I'm not quite sure. Or are you just training the individuals?
Thank you, Louise. So our project would involve us approaching the companies that we foresee to be the clients of the service, and then working with them in the area where the need is and developing that community to build jobs around that area. Obviously, it doesn't help to train lifeguards out of Johannesburg. We need to go down to Saldanha and train people that live locally and work in that area. So we would definitely have a collaborated relationship with the supplier of the service and the community which needs the jobs to be created in.
Okay, all right. Thank you. And the other thing, just to double check, you are licensed to provide training services in terms of having an equivalent ATO.
Correct. Our ATO is in the third stage, or the third phase out of the 5-phase stages with the civil aviation.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you're nearly there.
we almost there.
Okay, all right. Well, good luck with that. But thank you very much for your answers.
Thank you. Judges, any other judges that has questions or comments to the team?
Maybe just a point on scaling, Chair. Like Louise mentioned now about how you're going to reach the areas. Like an example, I think it's key in this business that you would need to be on the ground wherever you want to be, because you need to see the waters there. If I can just life-saving in Saldanha, Saldanha's waters is dead quiet. It's more lagoon than an ocean, for instance. So I think, yeah, you need to think about how you'll scale the business and to which areas you go into.
Super. Louise, Spokazen team, I think that is more on an advice, if you want to respond to things, but I don't think you need to on that in that instance. Any other judges before I close the pitching on the session? Oscar, Davis, nothing from your side? No.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Can I then say to
Chair, if we still have a minute, if I may.
Okay, please, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks so much for the presentation, ladies. Really impressive sort of positioning you have here to train drones, which are drone pilots, which are highly required. A new skill and a new job doesn't exist, and believe can be competent all over the world. What I'm really trying to understand here from a little bit of a technical question, which is, I see two logos in front of me. Is this a JV? Is this a partnership? Is this a single company called Kasi Labs? How is the relationship of the competencies that are being brought together for this solution set up?
Okay. We are going to merge the companies. Maybe we can say it's a JV because we come from different backgrounds and we bring the different expertise. Kasi Labs is more on digital skills with the fourth industrial revolution skills, and Kerry has got a lot of experience in the aviation background. So those two make a bomb.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we noticed that bomb. Okay, thank you to the two ladies for their presentation. It was also very informative, and let me wish you guys good luck for all the projects going forward. And yeah, I hope to see you guys soon in Saldanha Bay. Thank you. If you can be so kind and unshare your screen, so that you can go back to the conclusion of this of the session. Okay, so colleagues, now we have all the pictures from the two sessions. Very interesting. Thank you, judges. I mean, your work is cut out for you. Knox, if you can just give me direction quickly in terms of times allowed, or we'll be back. There we have it. We're going to take another break, and then we will be back at 4:30, where the judges will give us their scores, and then where we'll announce the winners and hand over the prizes. Thank you, colleagues. Good afternoon, and welcome back to all our participants, guests, and also judges. The judges deliberated. They went into detail with regards to the scores. I mean, I was part of the team. I was just observer in the room where they adjudicated the scores. Let me assure you that none of the participants were overlooked. When in an event where someone was mentioned, they looked at all the angles, they look at all the factors that they dotted down as criteria. And I must first and foremost say that everyone did very well. In fact, we were chatting with the rest of our team, and we said that the quality of the pitch was higher than we expected, and for that we are grateful. I think that we are moving into the right direction with regards to drone technology in the country. What we must do, though, is to ensure that we take this further and we advance this further, ensure that everyone is on the platform and everyone is part of the team. So let me thank everyone, our guests, for making time to be here, and also our judges. You guys did a phenomenal job. Let me thank you guys, and also the expertise that you shared with us. So what's going to happen is that I am going to call on Mr. Buntu to come and give us the results. He's going to give the results of both 6 sessions in one. He will announce the winners, and then also who's taking what home. And thereafter, I'm going to do the closing remarks, and then we're going to close the session. Buntu, over to you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, colleagues. We had a really tough time coming down to select here. There were some arguments and name calling in all good candor to get down to who really is going forward. Things like things like how really will each of you benefit as winners from this opportunity and the prizes, and also how well within the scope of what we're broadly trying to achieve with the Innovation Challenge is there alignment. And I think we're very happy with the pitches from all round, and all of them do have a place and great ideas that we all hope to go forward, but there has to be one winner. And we do have a top 3 and a top 4. Top 3 for the ideation and top 4 for the scale up session. So I will start with the ideation group just to share the top 3 here. And because number 2 and number 3 were so close, I will start by congratulating and bringing up number 1. And just as I call each of you, I'll just ask you to switch on your mic, and just so that we can have this all is good for the recording. So first in the ideation group is a technology that sounded promising to the judges, and certainly has potential to be applied within the marine and energy environment. And this one will go to Taurus Energy. Gareth, congratulations for first place here.
Whoa. Oh, wow.
Done.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Excellent.
Unexpected,
well
but thank you so much. That's great, guys.
Hey, Gareth.
Well done. Thanks, Gareth. And number 2, coming in very close to number 3. But we have between number 2 and 3 is either Luminous Marketing and Branding or Hover Aerial Capture. So who do we have in third place? Is Hover Aerial Capture. Congratulations for coming third. And then that leaves Luminous Marketing and Branding at number 2. Congratulations to both of you.
Well done, guys. Well done.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Great
Exciting
job.
stuff.
Great job. Great job. Thank you so much.
Thank
Did well. And all of you will then be walking away with acceleration prizes and exposure prizes to take your businesses to the next stage. And we will now move on to the scale up session. And here we do have a top 4. We'll be starting at number 4 and asking you to just come on, bring on your camera so that we can see you. At number 4 is WIPO Wireless. Congratulations and well done. Number 3, in third place, comes in RBI DroneTech. Congratulations to you in nabbing third place. Well done, Armand. Great to see you. And we've got second place and first place in competition here between Autono Sky and Delta Scan. If both of you could please come on as we announce who comes into first place.
Tough call.
Great, Amit, Daryl, both your businesses have great potential to scale, solving big problems and strong teams behind them. So big congratulations, and we do look forward to seeing success coming out of both businesses. However, taking first place by unanimous decision by the judges is Delta Scan. Daryl Epstein, congratulations to you and your team coming in first here, as well as congratulations to yourself, Fortuna Sky, coming in second.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well
Thank you
done,
so much.
well done
Appreciate
to all
it.
of you.
Well done, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so
And
much.
if I can just invite everyone, we just make a little bit of a noise here. We unmute ourselves and give everyone a round of applause.
Yeah.
Well done,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well done, everyone. Guys, wonderful.
Well done.
Well done, everybody. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you all, and over to you, Chair.
Thank you so much to our judges. Colleagues, we are now, sorry, let me just mute this. We have come to the end of our session, and we'd like to thank all the participants that I did before. This has been a fascinating session, I must admit, and congratulations to the winners. In fact, you all were winners. That's just a big thing. You came on tops. A big thank to the judges for offering your time to assist us with adjudicating in the businesses that pitched today. Thank you so much. We are now looking forward, colleagues, to our next innovation challenge. We request everyone to join in, go out there, bring more people to this event that will take place on the 13th of October, which is the final of this whole series. And also in the meantime, please visit the Saldanha Bay's IDZ. If you can do that in person, you can visit our website. You can also call us or send us emails. And please give us advice where you see relevant. Remember that this whole drone technology challenge or innovation is something that is driven by all of us, and we rely on your expertise. We are only providing the platform for everyone to showcase their talents and also their expertise. Have a good afternoon, and thank you once more. Bye-bye.
Thank you.